Hello dear students, this is the last video that I'm uploading. Okay, so I've already uploaded 3 videos related to this lesson called The Lost Spring. So let's begin the last video of this lesson. Savita, a young girl in a drab pink dress, sits alongside an elderly woman soldering pieces of glass. So there is a girl called Sabita, a young girl who is wearing a drab, a kind of pale pink dress. Sits alongside. She's sitting alongside an elderly woman and soldering pieces of glass. She's just trying to she's trying to join. She's trying to shape pieces of glass as her hands move mechanically like the tongues of a machine. I wonder if she knows the sanctity of the bangle she helps make. Then the writer is just contemplating, thinking whether this little girl called Sabita knows the real sanctity, the holiness. Sanctity means the holiness of these bangles. Okay, so she's working just like a machine. Actually, so her hands are moving like a machine, as if she's just constructing something there in a machine, or as if she herself is a machine. But the writer is thinking whether she knows the holiness of these bangles that she's making. It symbolizes an Indian woman's suhag. These bangles stand for the suhag of a woman, Indian woman, the auspiciousness, the holiness in marriage. Only those married Indian women, they wear these bangles. It is the symbol of their suhag. It is the symbol of their conjugal life. It is the symbol of their married status. It will dawn on her suddenly one day. She will understand. Dawn on her means she will understand. She will realize suddenly one day when her head is wrapped in a red veil, her hands dyed red with henna, and red bangles roll onto her wrist. So one day she will understand, she will realize the significance of these bangles when she herself will become a bride. She will wear a red veil, she will wear a red red piece of cloth. Her hands will be dyed in red just like a bride, and with henna, and then red bangles. She will also wear red bangles on her wrist. Then she will really understand or realize the significance of these bangles, or the significance of its holiness. She will then become a bride. Like the old woman beside her who became one many years ago. And this woman, elderly woman, she became a bride many years ago. She still has bangles on her wrist but no light in her eyes. This elderly woman is blind now. She became a bride many years ago, but now she has no eyesight. She has lost her eyesight because she kept on working there around those furnaces making bangles. एक वक्त शेर पर खाना भी नहीं खाया, she says in a voice drained of joy. She's really disconsolate. She's really very unhappy, and she says that for quite a considerable period of time she has not managed a full meal. She hasn't managed for herself full meal, or she has been unable to fill her stomach properly with food. She has not enjoyed even one full meal in her entire lifetime. In fact, in her lifetime, she has not managed even a full meal. But she has been working constantly as a bangle maker. That's what she has reaped. That's what she has harvested. That's what she has got finally. Her husband, an old man with a flowing beard, says, I know nothing except bangles. And her husband is an old man. And he says that he doesn't know anything else except bangles. He's a bangle maker. All I have done is make a house for the family to live in. So he says that he has managed to make only one house. He has managed throughout his whole life. He has managed to make a house just for his family to live in, to stay. Hearing him, one wonders if he has achieved what many others have failed in their lifetime. He has a roof over his head. So this man is better than many. because he has at least managed to build or construct a house for his entire family, which many others have never been able to do. Many of them have been unable to construct. He has at least a roof over his head. He has at least a house for his entire family. But many people, many bangle makers have been unable to do so. The cry of not having money to do anything except carry on the business of making bangles, not even have enough to eat rings in every home. This is the story of all the families, not having enough money to live a proper life, not having enough money to eat properly, not having enough money to construct a house. This is the problem. This is the issue of almost all the families in Firozabad. The young man echo is to repeat the lament of the elders. The young people echo or repeat the lament, the sadness, okay, of their elders. It has been the story of suffering, misery of all the people in Firozabad. Little has moved with time. Even with the passage of time, nothing has changed really. It seems in Firozabad, years of mind-numbing toil have killed all initiative and the ability to dream. So they have been working so hard. Toil means hard work. So this hard work has been just like mind-numbing. It has made even the mind of the people numb, senseless. Okay, and they have worked so hard that they have lost all the initiative and even the ability to dream. They can't even dream now. Okay, they have been working so hard. Why not organize ourselves into a cooperative? Why not organize yourself into a cooperative? I ask a group of young men who have fallen into the vicious circle of middlemen who trap their fathers and forefathers. Then the writer asked him, why don't you make a cooperative? Why don't you make some sort of an organization? Why don't you just get together, get united? Because these people have fallen into the trap of certain vicious, very dangerous, very malicious, very harmful middlemen. Okay? And these people are exploiting these bangle makers, trap their fathers and forefathers. In fact, their fathers, forefathers, their forefathers or their predecessors have been trapped by these middlemen, these vicious, these dangerous, harmful middlemen. Even if we get organized, then they reply, then they tell the writer that even if we do so, even if we become organized or united, we are the ones who would be held up by the police. Then police will just give us a tracing. We will be subjected to the atrocities of police, beaten and dragged to jail. We will be beaten then dragged to jail for doing something illegal. Then only we will be exploited. Okay, we will be subjected to misery. We will be subjugated, bullied, and in fact imprisoned. There is no leader among them. No one who could help them see things differently. Their fathers are as tired as they are. They talk endlessly in a spiral that moves from poverty to apathy, to greed and to injustice. So these people, they don't have any leaders. From generation after generation, they have been struggling for existence, for survival. Their fathers, forefathers, their predecessors, they struggled for survival, and these people have been struggling for survival as well, and they don't have the courage to stand up for their rights, and they think that they will be only subjected to misery. Okay, nothing can be done to change their situation, and they keep on talking. Okay, they keep on talking about their poverty, their apathy, their lack of power, lack of actually intent, lack of power and position, and then the greed and injustice, and that they have been suffering from injustice and the greed of these middlemen, greed of the people, greed of the privileged classes to exploit them. So they keep on talking about only about injustice, their poverty, their lack of power, all these things. That means they don't have any leaders to fight for them, to stand up for their rights. They themselves don't have the intent, they don't have the power to do anything to change the prevalent situation, to change the existing situation. Listening to them, I see two distinct worlds. Then, listening to these people, the writer feels that there are two completely distinct, different worlds. One of the family caught in the web of poverty, one of a family that is caught in the web of poverty, that is living under poverty. Those people who are poor, burdened by the stigma of caste in which they are born, and those people are burdened by the consciousness, that stigma, that they are born in a caste which is low. The other, a vicious circle of sahukars. That means the writer finds two distinct classes. One is a poor people, one is a class of poor people, low caste people, and the other one is a vicious, dangerous circle of sahukars, the middleman. And the other class belongs to those middlemen, the policemen, the keepers of law, the people who protect law, the bureaucrats, the politicians. Okay, all these people, they construct a second class. The first class is of the poor people. These actually people like these bangle makers, or the poor people who struggle for survival. And the other class consists of these middlemen, policemen, then the lawmakers, bureaucrats, politicians, all the other rest of the people who exploit them. Together they have imposed a baggage on the children that he cannot put down. They have exploited these people. In fact, they have put the baggage or the drudgery on these small children. But he is unaware. He is aware. Before he is aware, he accepts it as naturally as his father. But before he is aware, the children, he accepts it naturally as his father. He cannot protest. Okay, he cannot protest. To do anything else would mean to dare. And to do anything else would mean to challenge the higher class of the society, go against them. And daring is not a part of his growing up, and he doesn't dare. He doesn't have the courage to challenge the higher class of the society. When I sense a flash of it in Mukesh, I'm cheered. I want to be a motor mechanic. And Mukesh is a bit different. He wants to become a motor mechanic. And the writer is really happy to see that he has an ambition or a dream, something which is different from the rest of the people. He will go to a garage and learn. Then he will go to a garage and learn. But the garage is a long way from his home. I will walk, he insists. But he's very determined. He's very resolute. Mukesh says that though the garage is far away, he will walk to the garage and he will learn how to become a motor mechanic. Do you also dream of flying a plane? He's suddenly silent. Then the writer asks him, do you want to fly a plane? Do you dream of flying an aeroplane? Then he's suddenly, no. He's really very silent, suddenly becomes silent. Then he says, no. Staring at the ground, he looks at the ground. He knows the reality. He is rooted to the ground. He is rooted to the ground, and he's conscious of the reality, aware of the reality. In a small murmur, in a small whisper, he speaks silently. In a low voice, there is an embarrassment, uneasiness. Embarrassment means an uneasiness that has not turned into a regret. He has an uneasiness. It has not become a regret or a kind of remorse. Okay. He is content to dream of cars that he sees hurtling down the streets of a town. Few aeroplanes fly above Firozabad. So he is quite content, satisfied to dream of cars that passes through, goes through the streets of the Firozabad town. Very few aeroplanes fly over Firozabad. He can hardly see very few aeroplanes flying over Firozabad. That means he is rooted to the ground. He is aware of the reality. He is not thinking about the aeroplanes, or he is not thinking about the sky. He is not thinking about reaching the sky. He is thinking of only just fulfilling his dream, which is rooted to the reality. Okay, his ambition is to become a motor mechanic, and he's ready or determined to do anything to fulfill his ambition. In fact, he says that he would just walk the distance to the garage, though it is far away. But when the writer asks him whether he would become a pilot, he says that he will never become a pilot. In fact, he doesn't have such a dream, which is devoid of reality. He's conscious of the reality and he wants to fulfill his ambition, or he wants to fulfill his dream into reality. Okay, I hope everyone has understood my explanation. Thank you.